Knowing how to work effectively with layers and acquiring good layers management skills will definitely set you apart from most Photoshop beginners. Layers are the core of Photoshop, and in this episode you will learn the different kinds of layers you can create in Photoshop and how to manage them. So let's create a new document. Choose, let's go to web, choose large web. The dimensions are 1920 by 1080. I'm gonna uncheck artboards and click create. Actually, you can create any size, it doesn't really matter. Make sure you're on the Photoshop Express course or the workspace that you created on the first episode. Click reset just in case you changed something. Now on the bottom right, you should have the layers panel. If you have the channel selected, just click layers. This panel is really important in Photoshop because all your work will be in here. All the layers that you have on your project will be located here. When you create a document, by default, it's going to create a blank layer, which is locked. In order to unlock it, you can click on it, or on previous versions of Photoshop, you had to Alt double click or Control double click to unlock it. Locked layers do not allow you to make certain things. Once you unlock it, or once you create a new layer, you will see that some options show up here. By the way you create layers is using this icon over here on the bottom right next to the trash icon. Also, you can press Shift Command N. This will make this panel pop up where you can use a name, you can use a color. Let's name this layer 3, and you can change the blend mode. I'm going to talk about blend modes in a future episode, or the opacity of the layer. Click OK, and you have the new layer created with the name and the color. If you want to give a color to a layer which does not have one, if you right click, you see a bunch of options here, and you also have the colors here. So for example, I could choose green. Let's go through the different kinds of layers that you can create. When you use this icon or the keyboard shortcut Shift Command N or Shift Control N, you create normal layers. Let's call them normal layer or bitmap layers. And these are empty layers. You can see this checkerboard texture on the thumbnail. This indicates it's an empty layer. So here you can paint. If you get the brush tool with the B key, you could paint in here, or you can add images in here, or whatever you want, or text, or whatever you want. These are the normal layers. Then you can also create adjustment layers. The adjustment layers icon is this one over here, the one that's next to the folder. And if you click it, you'll see a list of adjustments. I will talk about adjustments on a future episode. And you can choose any of the adjustments that you want here. And since I had the adjustments on the secondary column here, it's gonna pop up the settings for that particular adjustment. One thing you should notice once you add an adjustment layer is that it has a different icon. The icon tells you which adjustment you used. In this case, is a hue saturation, and it also adds the name to it. This other thumbnail that you see on the right of it, it's called a layer mask. And this link indicates that it's linked to the layer contents. In this case, it's not necessary to link them, but by default they are linked. This becomes important when you have a normal layer, and you will see that later in this course. This layer mask allows you to remove part of the image or part of the effect that you create. I'm going to explain this when I talk about layer mask in a future episode. But for now, just remember that these are adjustment layers, and each adjustment that you add has a different icon there. And in time, you will start to remember them and know which icon stands for which adjustment. Okay, now let's delete them. Now that I have a few layers here, let me show you how to select multiple layers, how to delete layers, and how to, well, that's part of the management of the layer management task that you have to learn. If you just click on a layer, you will select that individual layer. You can select multiple layers using the Shift key. Press and hold the Shift key and click on the layers, and you will select those layers. for example, if I have the top one selected and I want to select all of them, shift click, and now I could drag them, all of them, to the trash. Not all of them, because the minimum amount of layers you have is 1. You cannot have this panel empty. So if I unselect this one, now this lights up and I could drag them, all of them, to the trash, and that's it. Now they're gone. Of course, I can undo. On the left, you have the visibility icon, but let's add some stuff here so you can see this on the canvas. I will create a new layer, and with the brush tool, press the B key. And if you right click with the brush, you will be able to change the size of the brush. By the way, if you don't see the circle, maybe you have the caps lock pressed, which turns into this high precision mode. So just toggle between those modes. Let's just paint that over there, create a new layer. And now I'm going to click this color icon here. This will bring up what's called the color picker. And I'm going to choose another color. Just drag something there and then create a new layer and change the color and paint something else here on the third layer. Now I have these 3 colors on their own separate layers. The visibility icon, as the name says, just turns the layer on and off. Let's say you have like 20 layers and you only want to have visible this yellow one. The way to do it is just pressing the Option key on a Mac or Alt on a Mac and clicking this eye icon will hide all the rest of the layers. And if you do it again, it's going to just make them show up again. That's one thing you can do. Of course, you can move the contents of the layers around using the Move tool. Press the V key. Remember, the V key is for the Move tool, top left tool. Depending on which layer you have selected, if I want to move the yellow, I have to select that layer and I can now move this around. You can see that the texture of this around the yellow is this checkerboard, which means the background is transparent. If I want to select, for example, if I have the red layer selected and I want to select the blue without having to go here, I could do that if I press Command or Control on Windows and clicking the blue contents here on the canvas, it's going to select that. This only works if you have the Move tool selected. So first press the V key, press and hold the Command key or the Control key on Windows and click on the contents. Now if I want to select the blue and I click here, like let me select the red layer first. If I want to select the blue, I have to click on the blue. If I click here, this is overlapping, so it's gonna select the yellow. So you have to click on the actual content of that layer, and you can see how I can cycle through the layers without having to come here. This is really handy when you have group layers and things like that. And talking about groups, you can also group layers. For example, let me group the yellow and the blue. I press and hold the Shift key and select both of them. And if you press Command G or Control G, you will group them. Nothing happens on the canvas, but you can see this folder here and the name Group 1, which if you double click, you can change the name. For example, colors to, I don't know. You can expand this and you can see all the layers inside of this group. And you can also group layers if you just select the layers and click this folder icon, but it's a lot quicker if you press Control G or Command G if you're on a Mac. And as I said, if you have multiple layers, for example, now I have this red layer and I want to select the blue, Control click, and it's going to select and expand automatically that layer. By default, one thing I didn't mention is I always uncheck the auto select. If you take a look here, when I press the Control or Command, it's going to temporarily activate that, and when I let go, it's going to disappear. I don't like to have it activated all the time just to prevent misselections. Sometimes I just click there and I don't realize that I just clicked and I just move things around without noticing it, and I don't like that. So I always have this unchecked. When you have the Move tool selected, one other option that you have is to auto select groups or layers. I like to have it on layers, and what that does is if I have the red selected and I press Control or Command and click, it's gonna select the layer. But if I have this set to group and I Control click again on the blue, it's gonna select the group that color belongs to, that layer belongs to. So If I have multiple groups, let me just create a few ones here. Okay, so I have these 3 groups. Each layer has its own thing here. Now, if I want to select the group corresponding to the blue layer, I just control click it. And here I want to paint something else with another color. Just paint that. Again, if I have this 2 layer and click the green, control click, it's going to select the green. So these are just shortcuts to selecting layers a lot quicker. Again, shift click to select all of them, and you can press delete or just drag them to that trash. So we've seen the normal layers, we've seen the groups, and we've also seen the adjustment layers. A different kind of layer that we can have is text layers. You can create a text layer using the text tool, which is this tool over here. By pressing the T key on the keyboard, it's going to select the text. By default, it's selecting the horizontal type tool. And once you select that, you see the font family, which you can choose. It's going to select all the, well, it's detecting all the fonts that you have installed on your computer, the styles, size, and the render mode. You can try them and see what they do. And when you click on the canvas, you can see that it automatically created this new layer with this T, which indicates this is a text layer. If you want to select the text, even if you have another tool selected, for example, like the move tool, and I want to select the text, you don't have to go to the text tool and then select it. What you can do is simply double click this thumbnail, and it's selecting the text, and also it automatically selects the text tool. Of course, you can change the alignment of the text, and let me just choose another font so you can see it better. I'm going to talk about text in more detail on a future episode, because I'm going to show you how to transform text, how to make text flow along a line, for example, and how to change the settings over here on the paragraph and stuff like that. But for now, this is a text layer. Let's delete that. And another kind of layer is a vector layer. I'm going to talk about vector objects in a future episode, but this tool over here, for example, I think this one is by default. These are all vector shapes. When you select them, you can create shapes like this, and these are vector shapes, which means they don't lose quality when you shrink them or make them bigger. How you can tell this is a vector shape now, you will see that on the layer, this square shows up on the bottom right. This tells you this is a vector shape, and if you double click it, you will be able to change the color of this. So this is a special kind of object, which is called a vector shape. Let's delete that. Now we've seen the vector layers. I'm going to talk about vectors in a future episode, as I said. Let's take a look at the settings that we have on the panel. First, I'm going to add a few layers here, just so that I can demonstrate the next thing I want to show you. And what else? Let me just add a levels adjustment, black and white, and a normal layer with some painting on this, with another color, and yet another text layer, and next another adjustment. Okay, so I have all of these layers, not this one, maybe this one. Okay, so I have all of this layer, different kind of layers. I have a text layer, a vector, 2 adjustments, a regular bitmap layer, a text layer, and yet another adjustment. The reason why I added all of these layers is because I want to show you the filter that this panel has. So imagine you have like 30 layers on your project, which is something that is common when you have big projects. You can filter to the different kind of layers. For example, if I click this T, it's gonna only show me the text layer. If I click this button over here, it's gonna only show me the vector layers. And if I click this one, it's gonna only show me the adjustment layer. So that's a really quick filter. And this one only shows me the regular layer or images that I have, bitmap layers. Also, I can filter using the name, for example, hue saturation, or the name that you gave, or the name of the layer that you have, for example this one. You can also you can also filter by color. The color is the one that you give from here. So for example, let me just give a few random colors here. None. By the way, you deactivate the filter using this switch. So for example, I want to only show the orange layers. This is what it shows up, the yellow layers. Okay, so it's a really cool filter. You can also only show smart objects. I'm going to talk about smart objects in a future episode. You can also switch to blend modes. I'm going to talk about blend modes on a different on a future episode. You can only show layers that use the overlay blend mode, for example. In this case, they're all on normal. Or you can only show layers that use a specific layer style. I'm going to talk about layer styles on a different episode. And or attribute, like for example, if it's visible, if it has a layer mask, if it's clipped, if it's linked. So this is a really powerful filter that you have in here. And as I said, you can also switch. By default it's set to kind, and you can activate or deactivate it using this switch over here. Just below that, we have the blend mode. By default, all layers are set to normal. And I'm going to talk about blend modes in a future episode, but blend modes is just the way layers interact with each other using effects. You have a bunch of blend modes here, and then we have the opacity, which is really straightforward, how visible a layer it is. And then we also have the fill. I'm going to talk about the fill later on. They seem like they're the same, but they have different purposes. And one other thing I want to show you from the layers panel is how you can change the size of these thumbnails. If you click this hamburger icon and choose panel options, you can change the size of this. For example, if I have them really small, they take less space. Oops, you can see I dragged it out. The quickest way to fix that is just to reset that, and it's going to go back to normal. Panel options, again, I'm going to set this to big, and you can also show layer bounds. What it does, if I click OK, you can see that the shape of the thumbnails is different, and it just shows the content on that layer, which shows it a little bigger. If I switch to entire document and click OK, all the layers, all the thumbnails have the same aspect ratio as my canvas, this rectangle over here, and it's showing my content based on where it is located on the canvas. So if I drag this on the corner, you can see that it's updating my thumbnail and shows it on the corner. See that? But if I change this to back to layer bounds, it's only showing me the content, not where it is located on the canvas. So I like to have it on entire document and have all of these options activated. Okay, so this is the introduction to the layers and the layers panel in Photoshop.